On Monday Night Football for this doubleheader, the Eagles beat the Bucs pretty easily. The score ends up 25-11. They were in control much of this game. Jay, another good night from DeAndre Swift, where you have to ask at this point, is he a legitimate RB1 right now in fantasy, or trustworthy RB1 is what I would say?
I think legitimate, yes. Trustworthy, no, just because you don't know what's going to happen with that situation. At the same time, you look at the box score and Swift had 16 carries, Gainwell had 14. That's a bit misleading because Gainwell was getting all the work at the end when the game was effectively in hand. Swift just looks so much better than Gainwell. He looks so much more explosive, and you have to think that rational coaching will prevail and that Swift will continue to get RB1 usage.
I have a contrarian take on DeAndre Swift, though. I think he's a sell high. I think he's the ultimate sell high, even forgetting their injury history, which is real and spectacular, right? The fact is think about this. When they get in close, they're going to Jalen Hurts, right? So he's likely not going to get, like, a bunch of different times this year, he's had the opportunity to get in the end zone. He's had some bad luck. He's been down at the one, but also when it's first and goal on the one, they give it to Jalen Hurts. The other thing is he's just not being used in the passing game, which is super weird, right? Given, what he used to do in Detroit. But like through 3 weeks, he has an 8% target share. He has 3 or fewer targets in each game. So really, again, he was dominant in this game, 130 yards on 16 rushes, 1 reception for 8. But he got in a game like this, he got under 15 fantasy points. Like this should have been a 22-point game given how dominant he was and how much they were up. And so my point is that he's been in 2 national games where everyone's seen him look like, whoa, DeAndre Swift looks awesome. That offensive line is great. But again, he's probably not scoring a ton of touchdowns and he's not involved in the passing game and the injury history is real. And Kenneth Gainwell is still there. And so I just think he's a sell high to me. I'm not just giving him away because I do think there's value and I think he's clearly the Eagles running back you want. But I actually think that you could get kind of a king's ransom for him right now, and I would explore that.
There's a real chance he's just the more exciting version of Miles Sanders last year.
That's right.
Yep.
And without the scoring, by the way. Again, Miles Sanders at least had double-digit touchdowns last year.
As someone who has DeVonta Smith, I feel like in every league this year, am I wrong to start to have concern that it's just going to be an A.J. Brown week this week, a DeVonta Smith week this week? Or can Jalen Hurts actually, keep afloat both of these guys on a week-by-week basis?
I think so. Look, to me, Hurts hasn't looked fully baked yet. Hasn't looked like the guy, my ride or die from last year. I think they have a new offensive coordinator who's called. It's the same playbook, but he's new to playing calls, and it just feels like they've also had some bad luck. A.J. Brown should have had 3 more touchdowns on this season. He dropped 2 balls. It didn't matter, but he dropped 2 touchdowns on last night. And then the other one the week before. So I'm not there yet on DeVonta Smith. I think the Eagles will. Every week they're a little bit better. My opinion on Hurts hasn't changed yet. I wish he was running more. He's not running as much, which is a concern. But the fact of the matter is that I'm not there yet on DeVonta Smith. He's too talented as well. Last thing, the Bucs are the Bucs. Rachaad White gets a ton of work and doesn't do anything with it. I just want to mention Trey Palmer, 6th-round pick out of Nebraska, whose snap rate has increased week after week after week. He's the 3rd wide receiver, somebody that, again, kind of a deep league stasher name to keep on your radar.
It's just a matter if Baker Mayfield can make that matter, their 3rd wide receiver. That's what we're keeping an eye on.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.